Greetings to all. Welcome to Future of this Academy. Today we are going to see 18th May current affairs. So to get more daily current affairs videos, follow our YouTube channel, also our Telegram channel. Now we'll move on to our today's topics. Today the important topics from our news are Asset Reconstruction Company, that is ARC. Next, Indian flat shell turtles. The third is forest fires. So these three topics we are going to see in detail. Our first topic is Asset Reconstruction Company. First of all, what is an Asset Reconstruction Company? Asset Reconstruction Company is a specialized financial institution that buys the non-performing assets, that is NPA, which buys the non-performing asset is called as an Asset Reconstruction Company, and from banks and financial institutions it buys the NPAs. So it helps banks in cleaning up their balance sheets by buying their bad loans. What is bad loan here? Bad loan is equal to NPA, that is non-performing assets. So it helps banks to concentrate on normal banking activities. Banks, instead of going after the defaulters, it can focus on selling their bad assets to the ARCs at a mutual agreed value. Here, ARC is a company which is registered under the Companies Act and registered with the Reserve Bank of India under Section 3. The securitization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of security interests, that is SARFAESI Act 2002. Here, securitization refers to the conversion of loans such as auto, house, credit cards, etc. of banks and lenders into the debt instruments. Here, legal basis of an ARC, that is SARFAESI Act, provides the legal basis of setting up an asset reconstruction company in India. What are the regulations done under this? ARC are regulated by RBI as a non-banking financial company. They function under the supervision and control of the Reserve Bank of India. Here, 100% foreign direct investment in asset reconstruction companies under the automatic route. Here, ARCs are not permitted to undertake lending activities. They can only do securitization and reconstruction activities. These can be sponsor or investor in another ARC, or it can be acquired debt for another ARC. For that, we have to know first what is asset. So here, what is asset? In literal terms, asset means it is a useful thing or an item of property owned by a person or company regarded as having a high value. So, for the bank, an asset would be anything that it owns or anything that it loans out. For example, cash in bank wallet, interest on loans, physical assets like branch buildings, computer systems, furniture, all those, etc. And investment in government securities like bonds, etc. So now that you can know what an asset is for a bank. So before that, we have to know what are non-performing assets and how they have been classified. A non-performing asset is a loan or advance for which a principal or interest payment is overdue over for 90 days. So banks are required to classify NPAs further into some categories. They are substandard assets, doubtful assets, and loss assets. Substandard asset, doubtful, and loss asset. Under the substandard assets, asset which has remained NPA for a period less than or equal to 12 months. In doubtful asset, it is classified as doubtful if it has remained the substandard category for a period of 12 months. Loss asset is one where loss has been identified by the bank or internal or external auditors or RBI inspection. Such an asset is considered to be uncollectible and little value, although it is not written off completely, as it might still be some required value. Now we have to know where does this origin of asset reconstruction companies have been started. The origin of ARC is normally credited to 1991 report on financial sector reforms by the panel chaired former RBI Governor M. Narasimhan. Accounting policies of banking system until 1990s, it did not include any norms for setting aside funds against bad loans. Here RBI released its first set of norms to classify bad loans or non-performing assets. The Narasimhan panel recommended the establishment of Asset Reconstruction Fund or Asset Reconstruction Company to flush bad loans out of the system. Now, what are the functions does this Asset Reconstruction Company do? So, as per the RBI, ARC performs the following functions, which are acquisition of financial assets, change or takeover of management or sale or lease of business for the borrower, and rescheduling of debts, enforcement of security interest, settlement of dues payable by the borrower. Now, what are the resolutions for strategies have been taken by this ARCs are under the SARFAISI Act, an ARC can do restructure or reschedule the loan. They can enter into settlements, also sell or lease the borrower's business, also can take over or change the management, and also engage in security interest enforcement like in sell, take possession or in lease the owned assets. Now, what are the challenges have been seen in this asset reconstruction companies? Here, the challenges are lack of funding. Under this lack of funding, ARC have been private sector entities registered with the Reserve Bank. Also, the public sector AMC in other countries have often enjoyed easy access to the government funding or government backed. Capital constraints have often been highlighted as an area of concern for ARCs. The next challenges is lack of consensus on the right price. Here it says that at which bank shall sell bad loans to the ARC and constant regulatory intervention have been said. Next is flawed model. In this, the recovery is also likely outcome of a resolution model and heavily dependent on collateral disposal rather than genuine business turnarounds. Here, collateral is any property or asset that is given by a borrower to a lender in order to secure a loan. Now, some of the steps have been taken to resolve this asset reconstruction company by solving the capital constraints as the main steps taken. Next, the loan product for ARCs are some of the steps taken to this asset reconstruction company. Our next topic is about, so Indian flagship turtles is our next topic. So now we're going to see what is about this Indian flagship turtles and their distribution, conservation status, their threats, and the steps taken for their conservation. Here, the Indian flagship turtle is an freshwater species. Freshwater species of turtle which is found in many states. Also, this flap-shelled name stems from the presence of femoral flaps, which is located on the plastron. These flaps of skin cover the limbs when they retract into the shell. Also, it is relatively small, soft-shelled turtle with a carapace length of up to 350 millimeter. Now, what is the scientific name of this Indian flapshell turtle is? Lesimus puncta. Punctada. So, it is the scientific name of this Indian flapshell. Now, where are these flapshells distributions are seen? Here, they are found in Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. Also, near in Bangladesh, Indus and Ganges drainages places are it is seen. In Myanmar, Irrawaddy and Salween rivers near that it is found. Also, they live in the shallow, quite often stagnant waters of rivers, streams, marshes, ponds, lakes, and irrigation canals and tanks. These turtles prefer waters with sand or mud bottoms because their tendency is to burrow. Their conservation status is the IUCN status is vulnerable. Under the sites, it comes under Appendix 2. Under the Wildlife Protection Act, 1972, it comes under Schedule 1. Now, what are the threats seen for this Indian flapshell turtles are? They are smuggled and killed for their supposed aphrodisiac properties, livestock feed, and to make leather from their skins, also to make potions from their blood, and to use as a fishing bait. These turtles are also used for meat and medicines. What are the steps taken to conserve this Indian flapshell turtle? Is first we have to know about the Kurma app. This app is built in a digital field guide covering 29 species of freshwater turtles and tortoise of India. It was developed by Indian Turtle Conservation Action Network, that is ITCAN, in collaboration with the Turtle Survival Alliance India and Wildlife Conservation Society of India. And also World Turtle Day was celebrated on 23rd May. So that's all from this Indian flapshell turtles topic. Our next topic is about forest fires. Under this forest fire, how it is was being spreaded, and we have a detailed analysis of this. Also, the government initiatives regarding the forest fires and how the forest fire taken place in India, reason for the forest fire, and how to mitigate this forest fire. All those things we are going to discuss under this topic. Now, what is about the forest fire? It is also called the bush or vegetation fire or wildfire. It also can be described as any uncontrolled and non-prescribed combustion or burning of plants in a natural setting such as forest, grassland, brushland, and tundra, which consumes the natural fuels and spread based on environmental conditions. Here, a wildfire requires three essential elements to sustain combustion, like fuel, oxygen, and the heat source. So these all requires for the essential element for wildfire. Now, how the analysis have been done? It is like, first classification is surface fire. This surface fire is a forest fire may burn primarily as a surface fire, spreading along the ground as the surface litter on the forest floor, and is engulfed by the spreading flames. The next is underground fire. Underground fire or zombie fire. It says that fire of low intensity consuming the organic matter beneath and the surface litter of the forest floor are the subgrouped as underground fires. In the most of the dense forest, a thick mantle of organic matter is found on the top of the mineral soil. Here, these fires usually spread entirely underground and burn for some meters below the surface. These fires spreads very slow, and in most cases it becomes very hard to detect and control such types of fires. They may continue to burn for months and destroy a vegetative cover of the soil. The next is canopy or crown fires. Here, they occur when the fire spreads through the upper canopy of trees, often fueled by the high winds and dry conditions. They can be particularly intense and difficult to control. The next is controlled deliberate fires. In some cases, the controlled deliberate fires, also known as prescribed burns or bushfires, are intentionally set by forest management agencies to reduce fuel loads, mitigate the risk of uncontrolled wildfires, and to promote ecosystem health. Now, what are the government initiatives can be taken for these forest fires? They are, the first one is National Action Plan for Forest Fires, that is NAPFF. The next is the Forest Fire Prevention and Management Scheme, that is FPM. So, under this National Action Plan for Forest Fires, it was started in 2018 with the goal of reducing forest fires by informing, enabling, and empowering forest fringe communities and incentivizing them to collaborate with state forest departments. In the Forest Fire Prevention and Management Scheme, they say that the only government sponsored program is dedicated to assisting states in dealing with forest fires. Now, how common these forest fires are in India? So, forest fire season. So, under November to June, it is considered to be a forest fire season in India, which has hundreds of thousands of small and large fire burning every year, especially from February onwards. Summer approaches. April to May are usually the worst fire months across the country. Now, where these forest fires spread in which regions? Several fire breaks out in dry deciduous forests, while evergreen, semi-evergreen, and mountain temperate forests are comparatively less prone to these fires. The forests of northeast India, Odisha, Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and Uttarakhand are the most vulnerable to these fires during November to June period. Now, what is the present scenario during this 2024 about the forest fire? The highest number of forest fire have been reported in Mizoram, Manipur, Assam, and Meghalaya, and finally in the Maharashtra as per the FSI data. Here, satellite data of Indian Research Organization tools show that forest fires have been an uptick since early March of 2024. In South India, most forest covered areas of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu have seen fire incidents over the past week. Now, what is the reason for this forest fire? So, the first reason is human carelessness. Next, the weather condition. Next, aridity. And finally, it is early availability of dry biomass. These are the basic reasons for the forest fire. Now, how it can be mitigated, the forest fire? By public awareness and education, by giving strict enforcement of regulations, also the fire breaks and fuel management, by early detection systems. These are the some of the mitigations to overcome the forest fire. That's all from today's topic. To get this PDF download, you can get from our Telegram channel. The link will be provided in the description. Thank you.